He's at the highest of highs in life. He's one of the best players in all the NFL. He's dating Taylor Swift. I think it's Johnny Manziel syndrome. You get to a certain point in this life where you literally feel invincible, and that's where Travis Kelce's at. And here's the thing about all this. When you have a guy like Travis Kelce doing what he's done and acting the way he's acted, it just shows the rest of the country and the rest of the world you have zero humility. So late last night, the Roman Circus concluded its yearly and annual tour, and it was a good one to say the least. It was a battle from start to finish. The game winds up going into overtime though, and Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, they get the job done. However, with that being said, in today's video, I'm not here so much to talk about the game itself because I did that last night. We uploaded a 17-minute video just talking about the game, so if you want to see that, feel free to check it out for yourself. In that video, I pretty much just talk about how I predicted this, how I knew it was inevitable, it was in the script, and yada yada yada, all that good stuff. In this video, we may talk about the game a little bit here and there, but the main reason I'm making it is because we got to talk about this wild, and I mean absolutely wild, Travis Kelce situation. I also do want to talk about Patrick Mahomes a little later in this video, so stay tuned for that. We're not doing no intro, none of that. I don't got time to waste. You don't got time to waste either. Relatively simple. If you like football content, consider subscribing. We love to have you here. If you don't want to subscribe, that's cool too. We're getting straight into it. Starting out with Travis first. Very weird situation because at one point in time, not even, a year ago, he was one of the most likable players in all the country. You had people making arguments that he's the new best tight end in the NFL, and everybody loved him on and off the field. I would say the narrative around Kelce the past 2 or 3 years was he was a hardworking guy who had a passion for the game, and he was extremely genuine. And I think where I'm going with this is, and to make a long story short here, Travis Kelce a couple years ago, he was very easy to root for. But and I have a really big but, you better believe this, as we all know, that narrative has done a complete 180. Within the span of, 6 to 8 months, he's went from one of the most likable players to arguably the most polarizing player in all the NFL and one of the most unlikable players. Now let me throw this in here before we go any farther because some people get these two things mixed up and confused, and I just want to clear the air. As far as it goes for Travis Kelce's talent, I'm not talking about his ego and his attitude, we'll get to that in just a second, but his talent, he's phenomenal. But over these past couple of years for Travis Kelce, he has seen a lot of success, and now he's a back-to-back Super Bowl champion. And with all this success, not for everybody, but you do see it from time to time, comes a lot of ego. Now here's the thing with that, and I don't want y'all to get it twisted here. I have vouched and stated this on the channel multiple times. I think having an ego is a must, especially if you're a man that plays sports. If you say you don't have an ego, it's one of two things. Number one, you're lying, or number two, you get walked all over in this life. That's just how it goes. The difference is you got to control it, and you also got to have some humility about yourself. With Patrick Mahomes, I think that's a good example, and we'll use him because it's his teammate. Yeah, a lot of humility there. Patrick Mahomes has never really rubbed me the wrong way, but old Travis Kelce here, that's a different story. And here's the thing about Travis Kelce, and weirdly enough, I tweeted this out last night before the whole interaction with Andy Reid, and we'll get to that in just a second, a little foreshadowing here. I think Travis Kelce is nothing more, nothing less than an egotistical maniac. And I'll give you a quick example here of what I'm talking about, and I've played ball with multiple people like this. I'll just use basketball as an example because you guys know I love basketball and it's my favorite sport. Or my favorite sport to play. Football is my favorite sport to watch, but you get what I'm trying to say. When I was in high school, which wasn't too long ago, I had a teammate whose attitude depended on how good he played. There would be times and instances where we would lose by 8 or 10 points and everybody in the locker room's pissed off or mad we should have won the game, but he's in the locker room smiling, getting ready to leave because, hey, he had a good night on offense. He had his 20, 22, 24 points, which at the time I didn't think too much about it because I myself was a high scorer and there'd be games we lose by 2, 3, 4 points and I'd have 35. And although I'm pissed off we lost the game, I would be pleased with how I played. So I kind of brushed how he acted aside. But then I had a teammate point out to me how we'd win games, we'd upset teams we had no business beating, and if he didn't play good, he only had, 6, 8, 10 points. He wouldn't even be celebrating with us. He'd be pissed off. And those vibes I got from that teammate are the same vibes I get from Travis Kelce. It doesn't matter what's going on. If he ain't getting the ball, if he ain't getting catches, he's not racking up all these yards and touchdowns, he ain't happy whether they're winning or losing. He is so infatuated with his own success, he puts it before the team's success. Whereas for me, and we'll go back to basketball terminology here, and most people are this way, I don't care if I'm 2 for 7 from the field and I got 8 points. But if I had 14 assists, 4 steals, and 10 rebounds and it helped my team win, I don't care about the points. I know a lot of you don't know me personally, but if there's one thing you need to know about Matt Be Great, it's this right here. I love competing, but even more than that, I love winning. Of course you want to play good, but I don't care if I play bad. If my team wins in whatever sport it is, I'm happy. Kelce, on the other hand, is not. He's only happy if he has a good game and they win. There's a difference. Let's move along to this, though, because everybody and their mom is talking about it. The interaction with Andy Reid. Anytime and every time I talk about my situation, I always put myself in that person's shoes. And I thought about all the coaches I've played for, and a lot of them I respect mightily. And I thought about, would I ever do this to one of my head coaches? And obviously the answer is no. I don't really have a problem with Travis Kelce yelling at Andy Reid. Those two guys have been familiar with one another, and it's almost like a father-son relationship. But as far as it goes for running up on him and bumping him and grabbing his arm, that was a little too much for me. You got people saying it's not a good look, he should be thrown out, he should have been suspended, and it's just a disgrace, no class, and etc. You get the point. Me personally, and this is just me, here's my honest take on the situation. I'm trying to empathize with old Travis Kelce here because he is a competitor in the heat of the moment. And granted, let me throw this in here, I've been bashing him pretty much this entire video, so if anyone is not going to take a side in this, it'd be me. But what's hard for me to even defend him on this is the whole somewhat slightly nudging him and grabbing his arm and then the screaming. If you would have just went up to him and said, hey, keep me in the game or whatever he said to him, we wouldn't even be talking about this. But him doing what he did, it just seemed like a little too much to me. And the fact you're doing it to the head coach, but more importantly, an older, elderly head coach, it just crosses the line. I want you to think about this. If there was a younger head coach out there who could hold his own against Travis Kelce, do you really think he would have did that? I don't think so. And you can't make it up. I'll show it to you right here. I tweeted out before this interaction that he's an egotistical maniac, and he proved my point. He's at the highest of highs in life. He's one of the best players in all the NFL. He's dating Taylor Swift. I think it's Johnny Manziel syndrome. That's what I'm going to chalk it up to. If you know what happened with Johnny Manziel, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You get to a certain point in this life where you literally feel invincible, and that's where Travis Kelce's at. As far as it goes for rules applying to Travis Kelce, there's none of that. And here's the thing about all this. When you have a guy like Travis Kelce doing what he's done and acting the way he's acted, it just shows the rest of the country and the rest of the world you have zero humility. And although, yeah, it's great entertainment, people aren't going to respect you, and they're also not going to like you. It's just really hard to like someone who acts the way he does. I'll use a comparison here. We'll use another tight end who I believe was a real tight end, Rob Gronkowski. Why did everybody love Rob Gronkowski? Because he seemed like a dude that you would love to hang out with. Let me ask you this question. Do you really think you'd love hanging out with Travis Kelce? I bet 85% of you are saying no. If I saw Rob Gronkowski at my local grocery store, I feel like I could approach him because he doesn't view himself as a god. He doesn't view himself as this legend. He views himself as a normal dude who got really lucky to play football for a living. There's humility with Rob Gronkowski. With Kelce, none of that. And that's why you got all these people tweeting out that he is now one of the most unlikable players in all the NFL. As humans, we don't like to see other humans who think and act like they're better than us. We don't like to see others putting themselves on that pedestal. We may put them on the pedestal and that's fine, but we don't want to see themselves do it. It's just kind of corny. For example, you don't want to hear LeBron James say, I'm the greatest of all time. No, you don't want to hear him say that, but it's okay for other people to say that. We got to give you that label. For Kelce, though, it just seems like he gives himself that label, and I'll use his girlfriend or whatever they are, Taylor Swift, for example. I don't even know anything about Taylor Swift whatsoever, but from what I've seen, how she acts, she has humility about her. She's not screaming and doing all these crazy antics at the game and trying to gain all the attention. She lets the rest of the world hype her up and give her the attention, and that's fine. She's not bringing it upon herself. And oh yeah, I know somebody's going to bring it up. Matt, what about the Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce relationship situation? What about that? You haven't spoken about it. Listen up, buddy. I could care less about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's relationship, so you got the wrong channel for that. I care about talking about football, and that is strictly it. And I've already made this video too long, so I guess we won't talk about old Patrick Mahomes here. The only thing I really was going to say about him is, dude, that guy, where is he at on the totem pole as far as it goes for the greatest of all time? And maybe I'm having some recency bias here, but I think he's got to be right behind Tom Brady as to where it stands. He is on another level. I'm curious. Let me know your thoughts on this down below. But